Hi Soulflow community, welcome. Today I'm in the beautiful offices of Vacation Time Real Estate in Gravenhurst with one of the partners, Miss Rosemary King. So we're interviewing Rosemary today for our Soulflow and getting to know what really helps her to thrive in Muskoka as well as in your business and your life right now. So I'm going to ask you a couple of strategic and fun questions. This will be very conversational. And what I'd love to know from you is, where are you really thriving right now?
Well, we thrive all over Muskoka, actually. Our business pertains mostly to within the boundaries of the district of Muskoka, and on all the lakes. And as you know, we have over 1,000 lakes in Muskoka, so we're all over the place this time of year, looking at rental properties as well as properties that are going to be listed for sale with us.
Perfect. And then what personally is something that you're really thriving in right now with what you're personally up to?
Right. Well, I just started guitar lessons. I've always been a musician. I've played several instruments, but I find that because the work here, being self-employed and an entrepreneur, takes up so much of your time, if you don't, in fact, leave some time for yourself and for your own interests, that you lose track of pretty much who you are.
That is so true and such a good point. And then, do you schedule this time for yourself?
I do, because I take lessons. So yes, my next lesson is tomorrow night, actually.
Perfect.
Here in town.
Who are you taking it with?
Rob Curry.
Of
Curry
course.
Music, yes. And very excited about that, although we have an issue because I'm a left-handed player.
Oh, me too.
And so we have to find a guitar that will suit. So that's going to be, we're going to look at that, the challenge, yes. So we do that, and I do creative writing as well, music, play the piano, the flute. So scheduling in that is a little bit more tough, certainly in our what are Muskoka's busiest months, from April to Labor Day.
Okay, and then tell us a little bit about maybe a big challenge that you've had in the last couple of years. Like, what's a big challenge that you've had? It could be in business, it can be personal, it can be whatever comes up.
Well, I think personally just making time for my family, certainly, and when it is the off season, if you will, we tend to retreat into our own things as far as travel goes, family goes, spend a lot of time with family, and just kind of recuperate and regenerate, because if we don't regenerate by April, it's a long season. So I think for me, just getting out there and looking towards my creative side more than just business, because business is one of my hobbies. And so that's why this business actually works for me, because that's what I do. That's a large part of who I am as a people person, and looking at, that's why I'm in real estate.
Definitely. And you've also taken on a role with the BIA.
Yes, I'm president of the local BIA, Gravenhurst BIA, which is a great challenge for me because I am very political, and I have been in recent years as well. So we're looking at a new direction. There's a great new board. We're all on the same page moving forward, and so it's exciting to be part of that, because when you get on a board, the board and what happens there is only as good as the people around the table. So it's really important to attract good people. And with my knowledge of municipalities and all levels of government, it's been very helpful to the whole process as well at the BIA.
And I think that's really important. And for those of you who are wondering what is the BIA, it's the Business Improvement Area, and every town has one, I believe. So Gravenhurst has seen a lot of beautiful activity in the last couple of years, and I think it's still looking for more.
Absolutely. And that's our focus. And the mandate of any legislation actually is, in a BIA, is beautification. And so we are bringing it back to, so when you are in the BIA, you will know it visually by how it looks. And I think that's the most important, because truly people don't pay attention to who does what. Mm-hmm. We get thanked oftentimes for things that the town does and vice versa, or the chamber, or that sort of thing. So although we all do work together, it really doesn't matter. We all just want to attract more people to Gravenhurst, whether that's day trippers, cottage owners, cottage renters, vacationers, and permanent residents. So.
Yeah, and giving them quality when they're here.
Absolutely.
As well. The sign, I have to say, I do love their new sign outside. It's beautiful. It's very beautiful.
Thank you. It was done by Brendan Dugan over at Get Bent here in town.
Love it.
He's he is a well-known artist, a metal sculptor.
Very cool. Okay, so this is supporting our local community, is using, you know, the resources that we have and the people that we have to work together with them so that our own businesses can thrive. Now, what do you want your legacy to be? What do you want to be known for?
Oh, gee, good question. I didn't know there was going to be a test. So let me give it a legacy. I would like people to know that I was involved and was part of changes, because nobody does it on their own. Obviously, you're part of a team or a committee or that sort of thing, or a movement. And I would like to leave Gravenhurst better than I found it. And that was 25 years ago when I moved here with my family to raise my family. And I think that's what I would like to do, to say, oh, you know what? Rosemary, she really did that. She headed that, or she was part of that committee, and doesn't look great. Doesn't look great. I mean, I do this mostly because I like to be in service.
Of service.
I have something of service to offer something, and that's really why I think anybody should get involved. It certainly isn't the money, but it's certainly to be part of the whole town, to feel like you're a part of the town. And I think the more people that do that, just adds to their lifestyle here, adds to their life, their quality of life.
Definitely. I think it's really important that we do work as a team, like everyone. And this is the whole point of the Soul Flow, is that there are so many great women up to amazing things, but we never actually hear about what they're doing or where they're coming from, or, you know, those side interests that they have. Like, who knows that you play guitar and piano? You might be called into the next production if they're, you know, in need of somebody amazing. So
I'd be open to that, just if there's anybody out there listening.
you're starting a band. I might be that person.
There you go.
The movement, I love when you talked about movement, like creating a movement, because the Soul Flow is also a movement. It's about, you know, pushing forward entrepreneurship and pushing forward mentorship with like really great people doing different things, or looking at things just slightly differently than they had looked at it previously. So creating opportunities where there may not have been opportunities before. And I think that's integral to Muskoka, because we're so used to doing things a certain way that it's really nice to have new perspective.
That's right. And most of the businesses in Muskoka are entrepreneurs. They're self-employed, whether it's one person or 20. And it's the balance of the geography of working up here, is being in your own business. And a lot of the businesses are owned by women, very successful businesses, as we know. And the mentorship and the camaraderie of women in Muskoka is very important, because I tend to see that things get done that way, whether it's creatively or business-wise. But there are a lot of women in places of power in the municipalities as well, and so getting together and seeing what works for not just women in Muskoka, but also for our families, is certainly really important.
Is there anything that you know that we don't know as a community that we should know?
I think that people have to realize that the perception of Muskoka outside of our boundaries is amazing, and I think that people they need to realize that, and that we all become very insular when we're here day to day, and we work and we try to make livings, but I think the perception of Muskoka outside is very interesting. When I get calls from people all over the world that want to come here, their perception was what they see out there that we don't. We take this for granted sometimes.
Yeah.
You know, the skating park in Algonquin and our steamships, and this is to people outside of our own area just amazing, and that's why they come here. So I would like the people of Gravenhurst to realize that we are a wonderful place to visit, but also to live, and that the more ambassadors we get out there, whether it's a cashier at the local grocery store, or me talking to clients coming in to purchase a property, or just anyone, just focus on the positive. I mean, we're like any other municipality. We all have our challenges. But I think that we have, in all levels of government and community organizations, a real willingness to work together and to get our profile out there. And I've seen it. We've seen it. National Geographic, 2 years. I mean, that's just huge.
Globally, I think there's something
right.
you're really driving on here, which is a point that I'm so obsessed with, is that we are, with the access of the internet and the way that the world is working right now, we are global. We're not
Yes,
just Muskoka, Gravenhurst, Ontario. We're so much more global than that.
That's right.
And it's really important that we have that mindset of how what we do affects other people, not just here,
That's
but
exactly right.
beyond.
That's right. We all want to be, we all want to thrive, but I think we have to, a lot of people have to expand their boundaries from Muskoka and then to Simcoe and then to Ontario and the GTA and out the province and Canada. And we're getting a lot of publicity out there. And I think just, it's easy to be negative. It's really easy to be negative and to identify
Especially
what
after
doesn't
a
work.
long winter here, folks.
There's lots to be negative about. I hear we're getting a snowstorm tomorrow. But in any case, I think that even for yourself, if you focus on the negative, that's going to have a detriment to your own self. And I think that if you look past yourself and move that outside and say, what are the positives? What are we grateful for today? And I think that would go a long way to elevating yourself and then the community.
Okay. My last question for you is, what is one tip that you could give to a young entrepreneurial woman who wants to start her own business?
I would say the first thing that comes to mind is do what you know. Because the businesses that I've been involved in are things that I knew, that I was familiar with, that I did well at, or I knew someone who I could partner with that knew their business. It's really difficult. I wouldn't go out tomorrow and start a restaurant. I know absolutely nothing about that, and I would like to say I'd be successful, but I'm not so sure. So I think do what you know and get those resources. Just, again, look outside yourself. Get your own plan, but you need help. No one's an island. I've had help. And the resources are there. People have to know the resources are there, whether it's government or whether it's another person in the business. But partnering and getting the knowledge to move forward always prepares you for the next step.
Mentorship.
Mentorship
100%
is huge.
Mentorship. I love right now that we're hearing a fax. I was like, do people still fax? So apparently this is a real estate office. They still fax here.
Yes, we do. In fact, we don't have our fax number on our business card anymore, and then we've been asked for it. And
so funny.
So yes, it is funny.
It's like the old dial-up, if anybody remembers old dial-up internet.
You almost have to go ahead and hang on to the past a little until the future actually is here.
It's fully accepted by the masses.
That's right.
Well, listen, I want to thank you so much for your time, and we have a beautiful giveaway this month that includes a Soul Flow package from our Kickstarter campaign. We also are giving away 2 SUP yoga classes that can be used as a couple or individually from Muskoka Yoga Studio. So you better share and like the business pages to make that happen for yourself. But thank you so much for your time. I really appreciate it.
You're
it was
welcome.
a great conversation.
Thank you so much.
I'm so excited to get this up for Sunday, but there you are. There you have it. Rosemary King, partner of Vacation Time Real Estate. Thank you.